Hey folks, I'm back. Stopped at my folks' house. My dad's not up for riding today, but my mom made me a sandwich, a ham sandwich. It was delicious. Nothing beats your mom's sandwiches, even all these years later. So I'm gonna ride down out towards Red Bluff, take some dirt and gravel roads, and yeah, that's my plan. Oh, it's coming. Do you guys see it? Do you see it? Boom, there it is. Now I can officially do my 1,000 mile review of the 2022 Yamaha Tenere 700. So what do I think of this bike after 1,000 miles? I think it's awesome. There's very little not to like. I'm gonna get around these jackholes too. I love the simplicity. The bike has everything you need and nothing you don't. It's bare bones, but I like that. I like the simplicity. The only thing I care about on a bike like this is ABS, and it's got it. I should say a fuel gauge. I like having a fuel gauge too. And engine temperature. You know, you see all the basic stuff. Ambient temperature, engine temperature, miles per gallon, trip meter, ABS that's switchable. It's got exactly the stuff I need. I don't need traction control and rider modes and all this other bullshit. I had all that stuff in my BMW. I never used it. Never felt like I needed it. I was never engaging the traction control. I think at one time I barely engaged and I went over a bump, a big bump that made the back tires skip a little bit. So for me, those things just aren't important or necessary. Cruise control is definitely nice, but I'm not someone who likes to sit there with cruise control on. I only care about it insofar as to get a brief break on my right hand, just to stretch my hand out a little bit. And for that, I can just get one of those the primitive levers that you stick on here. That's all I need. So Tenere's got just what you need. You know, it's a Yamaha. It's going to run forever. The first valve checks at like 26,000 miles. It's very comfortable. The seating position and the space and everything is great. I'm 6'1" with a 32-inch inseam. Fits me like a glove. It feels like an adventure bike, but smaller. It's not like when I get on my dad's GS, his 1250, it feels like a huge bike. When I test rode an Africa Twin Adventure Sports, it feels like a gigantic bike. This doesn't. I've heard people say it feels like a dirt bike. I wouldn't say that. It definitely feels like an adventure bike to me, not a dual sport. Some people have said it feels more dual sport than adventure bike. I disagree. To me, it very much feels like an adventure bike. That's just my opinion. But it feels really good. There's really only one thing I don't like about this bike, and I dislike it so much that it may be a deal killer for me. If you see those flags right there, you'll guess where I'm going with this, and it's the way this bike handles in the wind. I hate it. The thing just gets knocked around and moved around and pushed around a lot. And this has been true. I don't think it's something specific or unique to this bike. I think it is this style of adventure bike. They're tall, they have a large profile, and every bike I've ridden that has this big front fairing and windshield stuff seems to be subject to this. Maybe this is just adventure bikes, and maybe adventure bikes aren't for me. The question I'm trying to answer then is, what is a bike built for street riding that has really good suspension that can handle these beat up, potholed, dog shit roads that I like to ride on? I've searched around and tried to find the answer to that question. I'm not getting blown around whatsoever behind this person with just a massive member. So this Ridgeline driver. All Ridgeline drivers are just incredibly well endowed. That is known. Everyone knows that. They won't sell you one unless you are packing some heat. They measure you during the sales process, and if you're not up to snuff, they say, sorry, we reserve these vehicles for big D's only. So what else can I say about the Tenere as far as the review goes? I mean, there's plenty of other reviews that have covered all the major points. The thing's way more capable off-road than I'll ever be in terms of a rider. It does handle, like, here's where this bike is perfect. This road. This is the perfect bike to be on this road. This is a bumpy backcountry road. I don't have any other cars around. It's soaking all this stuff up, no problem. Feels great. And this is why I bought this bike, was for stuff like this. And so it really shines here. I just want to say, with all of these motorcycles, everything I've ridden, all the bikes, there's way more I like about all these bikes than I don't like. They're all great, but all the bikes I've ridden on this channel and talked about and reviewed, they're all awesome motorcycles. And I think most people, if you narrow it down to one of those, you're gonna like it. Are you gonna keep it long term? I don't know. I'm not gonna keep any bike long term. I could have the best bike in the world and I'm gonna get bored of it in less than 6 months and sell it and buy something else. It's just how I am. I've accepted it. My family has accepted it. It's part of the fun for me, is trying new things. It's buying all the stuff and having this, you know, Christmas present stack of parts to put on the bike and spend on the bike time in the garage working on stuff. It's hunting around, trying to find a deal, looking for bikes. It's the chatting with people about bikes I'm selling, all the shit. I like all of it. And so I'm going to keep this pattern I'm in, I'm going to keep doing it. And if you're someone that's here to see a specific bike, you're going to hate my channel, because I'm never going to own one bike long term. It's just not going to happen. I have a lot of respect for these guys that become masters of their machine and know so much about that bike. I would like to be that guy, but I know I won't, if that makes any sense. I'm a deeply flawed human being, and I'm okay admitting my many flaws. So there you have it, the worst Tenere review on the internet. I don't even know what I talked about. In summary, the bike is dope. If you're thinking about one, and you can get your hands on one, buy it. It's an awesome bike, and I do not think you will be disappointed. I mean, this is where this bike shines, and this is why I bought it. I mean, for this stuff, how could I even consider selling it when I'm on a road like this, just having a fucking blast? This bike is dope. I have a big shit-eating grin on my face. This bike is awesome for stuff like this. And this, a pure street bike, you're gonna get beat to shit on a road like this on a pure street bike. I'm telling you, I've done it. It's not fun. It'll do it. It's just not fun. At least not any street bike that I have ridden. They're just too stiff, and you get the shit beat out of you. Whereas this just kind of rolls over everything, soaks it up. Doesn't mind big old potholes and shit, just rolls over the top of them. Big old 21-inch wheel. No problems. Rides like today, I feel like I'm on the perfect bike. But I could probably feel the same way on a DR650. So I asked myself, is there anywhere I'd rather be on this bike than on the DR650? And I don't really have a good answer to that. I don't know. Just don't know. It'd be very helpful if I could ride this back to back with a DR650 to get a good comparison. Maybe I'll have to ride out to Arizona and see if Obi-Wan will let me take his for a rip. Absolutely beautiful out here. I'm really enjoying the Tenere today. Yeah, this Tenere is pretty damn good. I'm actually trying to find reasons to be unhappy with it, and I can't. Even the wind today is not really bugging me. It's just too good of a bike in every other regard. Maybe I'm just getting used to that. I'm really not bothered by it at all today. Oh, I started on this earlier, but saying that a couple other bikes, if you're shopping for this one, I think you have to compare it to. It'd be an 890 Adventure R, which for me, I'm not going to buy another KTM in the near future, because Zendime will paint my stuff orange and kick it over. The other one would be the Aprilia Touareg 660. That is a bike that looks really, really good on paper to me, and the initial reviews I've watched seem very favorable. Things that would put me off to that bike are my nearest dealer being 3 hours away, it being a first-year model, and undoubtedly there's going to be some kinks. And my understanding is that Aprilias are known, yeah, I think it's true of most of the European brands, to just have a few more quirks and just not be quite as reliable as their Japanese counterparts. I know there's plenty of people who say, oh, that's bullshit, my Aprilia's been working flawlessly forever. That's awesome. I'm like, truly, I'm glad to hear that. I wish we could say, I wish that reliability weren't a factor, that all motorcycles were super reliable and we could just judge them on all their merits, but I don't think that's the case. I think it is a factor, and it's certainly one that I consider. Your mileage may vary. So it's definitely a bike I'm going to keep an eye on. It's not one I would buy now. A year from now, when there's some more kind of long-term reports in and we hear about what issues they've had, and I have a better idea of how they honor or don't honor their warranty stuff, that could play a part. But even then, look at that, there you go, there's what the wind's doing. Can you see it? I can feel it. There's some gas prices for you. Welcome to the Hotel California, where our governor's a Ken doll, and he brags about a $98 billion budget surplus.